Hey guys, welcome to another lecture. कैसे हैं आप लोग? So in this particular video, what we are going to do is we are going to implement the backend so that whatever arrangement we perform over here is saved on the database, and the next time we load, the same thing is visible. Okay, right now on the current application, okay, over here, you can see that if I perform any kind of rearrangements, okay, and let's wait for a second or two, and now if I refresh, okay, nothing is happening. Okay, the order was not retained. Okay, so that is something we have to fix. So till over here, whatever was being showcased in the introduction video of this particular course has been achieved. Now we'll add on features. Okay, features as in like ability to save the arrangements. When we click on this particular ticket, it should show a ticket in the modal. We should be able to add comments, update assignee and other stuffs, and then ability to create a ticket. That's all we are going to implement. Okay, so whatever I had prepared beforehand was on my private repository, which you are seeing right now, JIRA clone self, and the one which you are seeing over here, this is the one that I am building publicly. Okay, so coming back to the point, let's focus on one task at a time. That the task would be to save the arrangement. So once we refresh, we should be able to see the retained position of the ticket. So let's quickly see what can be done, and before moving forward, whatever stuff was done, client changes related to React Beautiful DND are present in this particular pull request, which is add drag and drop feature. And if you don't know how to view pull request, you might have known it so far because we have been doing everything in this pull request only. So go to pull request, go to closed, and you can see all the pull request for each of the features. Okay, so this is where you can visit it. Anyways, coming back, so this is the pull request which we have created, and all the checks passed, and we have finally merged it, okay, into the master. This is the branch name, and coming back, we are on the master branch. We have synced everything. Now we have started the server. Now we'll start implementing the logic to save the orientation. So one thing to note is that if we come to board and we check the handle drag end, so whatever is present inside this ticket state variable is our updated latest state. Okay, that is for sure. So wouldn't it be good that we can leverage this? Okay, we are not sure which ticket got updated. Okay, because the moment I drag and drop this ticket over here, two tickets got updated, this one and this one, and if there are more tickets below it, they also get updated. So after every drag and drop, can we use this tickets array, send it to backend, and backend can fetch the positions and update it? Will that work? Because not only position is updated, board column is updated. Okay, right now the board column is this, now sometime it is this, and so on. So we have to look into that aspect as well. So let's start doing this. Okay, let's start doing this. Firstly, since this is a client, okay, this is a client. Okay, now over here, let's start creating this. One of the thing that I want to check is, can we leverage async functions over here? Is it possible? What I mean by that is, for example, I create const update ticket. Okay, update ticket back at backend. Okay, I created this function. I create this as a async function. Okay, this is a async function. Can I will call this async function after okay, we have multiple return statements. Okay, and then we are performing set ticket, and over here update let me just call this function. Okay, over here I can, is it possible to run, so is it possible to run Prisma queries over here, because this is a async function? Let me do a simple query like const users, or maybe we have to deal with tickets, so I'll do something like const tickets equals to await Prisma from Prisma from lib folder, Prisma dot board ticket dot find many. Okay, and I what should we do? Let's just console.log hey tickets, and I print my tickets, save this. Okay, and see what happens. Okay, let's refresh. Let us open inspect. Okay, now if I do this, we got one error. Prisma client is unable to run in this browser environment. Okay, so we can't run Prisma on the browser environment, and we did not see our console hey tickets. If I write use server on this, what it is saying, it is not allowed to define inline use server annotations, server actions in client components. To use server action in client components, you can either export them from a separate file or use server at the top. Okay, so we cannot do it like this, that they do not allow us to perform it like this. So okay, what shall we do? So let us create a server action. So where was the server actions? These were the actions slash API slash auth and other stuffs. Okay, so this was regarding ticket. Oh, this is API. These were actions. So over here we have get all board, fetch board, and let us create over here only another file. We will call this, not over here, let's write this at the bottom. So I'll copy my stuffs. So this was the function. I cut this, I paste it over here. Then we have export const update, and we can get rid of use server because it is present at the top. And let us import this function. So did we import it? This is Prisma, it is not required. Now let us call this as import update ticket at backend. It has to be backend. Okay, the name, there was a typo. Okay, and let us call this function. Now you can see that nothing was called out. What it is logging? Okay, it is actually logging the board data. The page got refreshed. Now if I try to drag and drop any stuff, okay, so something happened, and you can see that hey tickets was executed. That's amazing. So we could invoke server actions without exposing anything, any API on the client. Okay, nothing was being exported. We can just confirm this. The last API call was of session. Let me clear everything and perform a drag and drop again. And you can see that localhost 3000 slash board slash, this was a client call, this is a post call, but nothing, no payload was seen. Okay, no payload was seen. Okay, that's fine. All we have now is updated ticket. Okay, we have updated tickets. Okay, updated ticket is of type board ticket with user. Interface board ticket with user is over here, and we can get board ticket with user not like this. We can say something like up tickets. Okay, this is an array of board tickets. So we don't really need board ticket with user. Okay, because assigned user is something which we are not going to leverage when updating the UI, because assigned user is not changing when we are performing drag and drop. The only thing changes is the board column ID and the position. So this would be a board, BOARD, board ticket array. Okay, is it complaining? No, it is not complaining. Duplicate identified tickets. Yep, we can say it as tickets to update. Okay, this is perfect. Now let us think thoroughly on how we can update this bunch of data. Okay, so let's firstly Google stuff. Bulk update Prisma, transactions and batch queries. So it has a database transactions, refers to sequence of read or write operations that are guaranteed to success or fail as a whole. That is something we want. So what is a transaction? Let me tell you. So for example, the bank servers, okay, they perform bunch of transactions every second. Okay, so for example, what they do is they have a transaction. Okay, key, these are the transactions that has to be performed. Now for example, if I gave some money to anyone, okay, into their bank account, so if transaction, this is a particular transaction, which means that if this transaction was not success, it gets rolled back. Okay, it never happens. For example, there are sequence of transactions, A gives to B gives to C gives to D. Okay, now if the transaction failed at C gives to D, then the whole chain is rolled back. So that is the whole point of the transaction, that either it becomes a success as a whole or it fails as a whole. Okay, there is no between. That is exactly what we want. If any ticket, for example, if let's talk about our project, if any tickets failed to update its position, then whatever changes we are sending in that particular call has to be rolled back. For example, I put this particular ticket over here. I put this ticket over here. For example, for some reasons, a transaction where the position was updated failed, but the APIs where all the subsequent tickets where the position was incremented by 1 succeeded. So we have a disparity in the data. On one scenario, a particular ticket is not updated, but on the other hand, the other subsequent tickets were affected by its relocation. So if this particular API call, if this particular transaction failed, every transaction related to this particular change has to be rolled back. That is what we want. Okay, so let's try to see how we can implement transaction. So for example, they have this nested writes, bulk operations, update many, the transaction API. So Prisma transaction, inside it we provide the array. Okay, it has prisma.post find many, and it has raw queries, prisma.directions delete many, prisma.resource create many. Okay, all right, so this looks okay. This looks, I think, sorted. What we have to do is, firstly we have to create transactions, each transaction that we have to work upon. So this is a update many API where is the update menu? Yep, this was update menu. So let us search Prisma, or not. We have to, okay, so we don't have to work on update menu because it takes a single where column and update all the parts which match. Okay, that is not we want. We have individual tickets. So firstly what I'll do is I'll create const transactions equals to empty array. Then I'll iterate, or maybe I can do something like we can use a map tickets to update dot map ticket. Okay, I am going to return Prisma dot board ticket dot update where id is equals to ticket dot id. Okay, and what was the update API? Prisma update API, CRUD operations, Prisma docs. We have the update and we have to pass the data. What data we have to update? So we have to pass data board column id would be ticket dot board column id, and position would be ticket dot position. Okay, we are returning this transaction. We have created transaction for every ticket. Now we have to do tickets like this. Okay, we get updated tickets, await prisma.board tickets dot find many, and this is not what we want. We have to perform a transaction. So let us go back. Let's copy this prisma.transaction and we just have to pass our array. Okay, this is amazing. So we have to do it like this, and over here we pass our transactions. Looks sorted, and we have updated tickets. So let me change the name as updated tickets and save this. Now let us go back. Let's refresh. Okay, and we'll have a closer watch at the logs as well. So let the server return the page. Okay, we have got the page. Now let's mindfully, carefully update the positions. So add unit test would be in review second position. Okay, and fix home would be at the last position. Okay, and meanwhile I guess you guys can see the payload as well for the actions. The moment you call server actions, okay, from client, okay, please note, since you are making changes on the client, so it is not going in form of a fetch call or something. It makes us call to the server like this, localhost 3000 slash board slash this, but no URL. Okay, no URL was there. It was a post call to this URL only. Okay, anyways, so it was a 200. Okay, and we could see the response as well. So let us take a screenshot. Let me grab this. Okay, this is the URL I have to see. Okay, and now is the time for test. Let us refresh, and yep, everything worked like a charm. nothing was changed. The positions were retained inside their respective board columns. So we, the data was persisted after the relocation, after the drag and drop, and finally we could finally see some changes happening. Okay, so we have got this updated ticket. We have this async call. That is fine. Yep, this is fine. If the call fails, the whole transaction would be rolled back. Okay, so we have done this transaction. Okay, we have provided array, and we could have why we have not used promise.all. Okay, maybe there was a case where we have used promise.all. I remembered this. Yeah, over here. Okay, because this was a simple fetch call. Okay, over here we are performing updates. So there is a difference. You will not need transaction for get calls. Okay, that is not making sense, because if a get call fails, then what exactly we are going to roll back? We are not updating anything in the database. Over in the transaction over here, we are updating the database, and even if the single item from the array of transactions failed, I don't want any of the rest of the items to happen, and they should instantly roll back. That is the objective of transaction. So I think we successfully integrated the API. The next thing we have to work upon is the modal, where we click on this, we see the tickets. Okay, we see the status and other stuffs. So stay tuned, and this was all in this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.